Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis.
Adam, first off, I gotta say this was a masterpiece, man. When I walked out of the theater, my jaw was just absolutely dropped. My buddies were asking me, like, what was it like? What was it like to finally see Megalopolis? And I told them I had the same feeling the first time I left Inception. Walking out of the theater, you know, I can't wait to go back and watch it again to get even more from the character. But as you were creating Caesar, Catalina, when you started working with Francis, what were the most important characteristics and traits for you to portray on screen?
You know, it wasn't a specific. There wasn't one specific thing that I hung my hat on. You know, he had a lot of people in mind that he took inspiration from, like Walter Gropius and the Bauhaus movement and Robert Moses a little bit. But then also I kind of took inspiration from Francis. He embodies a lot of the principles that are articulated in the movie, you know, like one who loves, you know, young people around him, and he doesn't devalue them because they're young, you know. Doesn't necessarily means have to do what they're suggesting. Just because it's young doesn't necessarily make it right. But he is always open to being proven wrong, and the idea of the auteur as the ultimate author of a film isn't something that he is not how he works. He's incredibly generous and comes from a theater background, and his sets are like that, where the best idea always wins. And even the fact that he was paying for it for himself immediately set up an atmosphere on set that there was nothing external getting in the way between you and Francis. It felt like a conversation that you were having that every once in a while they called cut and action, you know.
I love that. It's like experimental theater.
Yeah, exactly. You can't make a mistake in experimental theater, kind of. You know, it's all, he really values improv and instinct, and which is, I think, bold for someone who's been trying to make this one movie for, 20-something years.
How would you describe this movie to your best friend before they go see it? Because what I love about the trailer is it doesn't give much away, and then you start watching the movie and you see all the layers that are going on. So how would you describe it to your best friend?
I say it to people that it's singular. There's no real obvious, and maybe it's just because I haven't seen the movie, film frame of reference for what it's like. I honestly feel like it's one of a kind. Something on this scale with that much imagination, I think is, kind of once in a career, maybe. And that's how I kind of describe it. Don't get an idea that it's like this other thing, because that's not how it was made, and I don't think that's what the result is.
Did Francis show you the whole world as you're putting it together? Because I know with Giancarlo's character, Mayor Cicero, he didn't give him the whole storyline because the mayor was kind of looking at the whole thing from afar. Did he do the same thing with Caesar, so you didn't get to see the other side of the story?
No, I knew what it was, and I had seen when they were. I wasn't there the days they were shooting it, but no, I knew kind of what the whole picture was going to be, and he would show me things about what Megalopolis was going to look like, but even that, evolved a lot in the edit.
Francis has said that actors make the best directors. So what have you learned from Francis Ford Coppola that you're going to take with you when you make your first film, Adam? Because I know it's coming.
I think just how generous he is with everyone feeling that they can contribute to the thing that you're making is actually the opposite of what the assumption is that that's too much noise and getting in the way of my vision. That's not that at all. He would pull anyone into the edit. He would pull anyone in or take any kind of feedback from anybody, and especially the actors. And the value of rehearsal was a big thing, and thinking of things as, this is the best way that I have to describe it. My first day of shooting, I was strapped to this board and I have a bandage on my head, and they were doing this practical effect. And he kind of said to the room, "We're not being brave enough." And that to me set okay, that's the kind of movie we're making, is like you you're doing the film and yourself a disservice if you're not taking it as far as you possibly can. And don't get stuck in an idea of like, well, this is how I've seen in this other film that was similar to this dynamic. He wants to see what you bring to the table, however abstract it may be.
Again, congratulations. Fantastic job. And
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing it multiple times, man. Like, this is going to live on for a long time.
Oh, I agree. I've seen it many times, and every time I watch it, it's always something new that I pull out of it. I'm so glad to hear you say that.
Only on the Backstage Experience.